Recording started. All right, guys. So almost 3 weeks happened by when we started the class, or 3 to 4 weeks. Now 3 weeks happened, right? And in last 3 weeks, we have learned a lot of topics, guys. Right? If you remember, on the day one class, we started with the word called Microsoft 365. Remember? Now, Microsoft 365 is a big umbrella, or you can say it's a big ecosystem. Under that ecosystem, there are different apps, or you can say services under the Microsoft 365 that we started learning, right? Right. We started learning those services under the Microsoft 365, and we started with SharePoint, which is most widely and most popular service inside the Microsoft 365. Remember? Now we learn what SharePoint is, what are the features of SharePoint. We learned about the document library. We learn about list. How the SharePoint stores the information inside it, right? How the data is stored. If data is tabular, it will go into list. If data is some attachment type, it will go inside the document library, right? So we start exploring the SharePoint context. We also saw there are two type of sites. Communication site is there, team site is there. We show what are the difference between communication site and team site, right? And now also we saw what are the different groups, right? Groups, when I'm talking about the groups, we saw three groups basically. One is called Office 365 group, one is called SharePoint group, and one is called, if you remember, one is called what I'm saying, distribution list, right? Now, so those were the features we discussed. We also discussed how we manage permission in the SharePoint site, because SharePoint is a very secured platform, right? And it allows to do the collaboration. So if it is allowing us to do the collaboration within different teams, so there should be some sort of restrictions from one team to other team. That means the permissions comes into the pictures. We also saw how the SharePoint manages the permission inside it, right? So we saw those topics. Then after learning SharePoint, we move to learn a common term called Power Platform, right? So we started what is a Power Platform, and we saw under the Power Platform there are some topics like Power App. Power App is one topic inside. So Power Platform is one small ecosystem inside the Microsoft 365. Inside it, we are having a Power App. We are having Power Automate, right? Then we are having, let's say, call Power App, Power Automate. We are having Power BI, right? And internally, if I expand it more, we are having Power Pages, and then we are also having a Power Virtual Agents. That's used for creating the chatbots, right? So okay, so when we started learning the Power Platform after the SharePoint, we decided that we'll be going and learning this topic. Again, there are different variations of Power App as well. There is a Canvas app. If I go and write here, Canvas app, right? Canvas app is one of them. Similarly, if one is called Model Driven app, right? Model Driven app. So basically, there are two categories of Power Apps, which is called Canvas app and Model Driven app. We also saw in great detail what Power Canvas app, how to create the Canvas app, how to add the controls, how to add the properties or set the properties of those control, right? And once we done with the UI part, the control, then we started learning a new language called PowerFX, right? For writing our logic, writing our formulas, right? Started learning that. Some places, some websites, some blog will also tell you this. Power Page is also part of the Power App only. Power App only Pulse as well. Right. So some places, so let's place it here. You can place outside also, but you can also say that Power App is basically of three type. One is Canvas app, one is model driven app, one is Power Pages. So these two, Canvas app and model driven app, um, these are for internal organization. So let's say there is an organization who is creating room booking app for their own organization for booking the room. Means if anyone who is not part of that organization, even if we share the URL with him, he won't be able to open that app. Why? Because that app created in Power App are for meant to be used inside the organization only. The people should have username and password to log in it, and then only they will have an access, right? That means this Canvas app, and same goes for model driven app also. These two apps are internal apps, right? So it's not public app that anyone putting the URL can use it. No, it's not like that. Now similarly, there is an another Power Pages. Now Power Pages is a concept which can help you to create an external website. Little bit of coding needed here. We'll see the overview of it later, but this for external website, creating external website, guys. Right? These are for internal things, right? We saw that. There's a one more term which will be related to this. Maybe I'll write here. Maybe after Power Automate, I'll start. It's called Dataverse. I'm not sure you guys have come through this term or not, but I mentioned in my previous class. Dataverse is nothing but a database created for Power Platform application. Just like your SQL is a database, Excel is a database, SharePoint list is a database. Similarly, Dataverse is also database created for Power Platform applications, basically. Right. For this, you need to pay. Then only you can use it. Means it is a license-based product from Microsoft. We will see. We'll see in great detail what Dataverse is. We'll also see that, right? What else we can learn in it is we also saw about the connectors, guys. If you remember, CO connectors. So what are the connectors? So connectors are the those entities which help us to Dataverse is a single word. Connectors are those entities which is connecting our UI element with data source. So if you remember on the day one, I discussed any web application is having this pattern. You are having a UI, your front end, and then you are having a back end, right? Back end can be anything, right? It can be your SQL, it can be your Excel, it can be your Dataverse, it can be Rahul DB, it can be MadoDB, Hermela DB, anything it can be. Tomorrow I create my own DB, so I can connect my own database to my Power App, like that. So to do make the connections between your UI, your front end, and your database, I need a connector, guys, right? So we saw there are three type of connector majorly. One is a free connector. For that you don't need to pay. You can use those connectors free. Now there are some connectors which are premium. Premium connectors are represented with a diamond symbol there. Diamond symbol is there in front of those connectors, right? So you can identify these are the premium connectors. So premium connectors. So free connector, premium connector. And in case, let's say I want to connect my Power App, Canvas app with Rahul DB. I opened my company, I created my own database, Rahul DB. My name of the product database is Rahul DB. Now there is a no premium connector, no free connectors. So probably to connect my Power App with those Rahul DB, I'll have to create my own connector, right? So that then I'll call a custom connector, right? So you need to know about these three connectors. Okay, now this is how we started learning, huh? So we started learning because I said you this is very very important. Major portion will run in Canvas app. We need more practice in it. We'll see model driven app, but you don't have much to learn in model driven app. Yeah, it's very simple. You don't have much UI controls to create there. It's a data driven app, so automatically it will be created. You can't change much UI. You can't make beautiful app in model driven app. So that's why this Canvas app needs more practice. So we'll spend more time on it. For this part, we started learning a language called PowerFX, if you remember. Right. So PowerFX is a language created specifically for developing your Canvas application, right? Or Power Platform applications, you can say. Some places also other it will be used. In model-driven app also some formulas will be used. So PowerFX language we use. This is a low-code language which helps in doing the development of our applications inside the Power Platform. Okay. So as part of PowerFX, we started learning about the variables. What are the variables? What are the different types of variables? Very important, global, local, and collection variable. Right? We saw that what is the use cases of all those variables. And then we saw a major concept called functions. Right? So PowerFX is all about functions. Huh? There are a lot of functions. You cannot remember all the syntax of those functions, but at least I'm assuming and I'm believing also that you guys have at least got an idea what role function has to play while developing the application, right? So the importance of function is very much. Without functions, you cannot think of developing your application. So as part of that function also, we started discussing some functions called navigate function, submit form function, lookup functions, a patch function like that. So many functions we discuss, and there are five, six more common functions which I haven't discussed yet. I'll discuss that. But for that, those functions, I'm parking those functions for now. Maybe once I'll complete this Power Automate, and once we do the projects work, we'll back to project again. Probably while doing the projects, we can see about those functions. Let's say, for example, for all functions there. What else? There are a couple of more functions, guys, so that we can see. Right now, today I'm going to start a topic called Power Automate. Right now, this Power Automate is very. This is just like a magic. You will see the difference of what Power Automate brings the difference. So I hope everyone enjoyed the features of the Power App. Whatever we have discussed so far, you guys have enjoyed it. You have seen some technical aspects because most of you are coming from non-technical background. So you have seen some technical changes, and because you were user of the website, so now you have started relating how the website which I was using 1 month back, how that was working. I'm not saying that you fully got it, but you have got a context, right? When you click on this, you go to the next page, how that goes, how that happens by using the navigate function. For Power App is a navigate function, but for programming language, some other programming language, that there might be different logic, but there is some logic written there. Anyway, so I'm starting a topic, guys, called fresh topic called Power Automate today. Okay, so this will be our overall journey. This we are going to cover, right? So let me do one thing. Let me just make it first up right now. Power Automate. Okay. Anyone in the class ever heard of this term called Power Automate, guys? Raise your hand. I mean, don't hesitate if you want to say 2, 3 words, sentences on it. Power Automate. Anyone know what is Power Automate? No? All right, guys. No problem. I'm not expecting you to know, but just wanted to know if you guys have ever heard of it. No problem. We'll learn it from absolute scratch. Right. Now, guys, the Power Automate is also an integral part of the Power Platform applications. Power App and Power Automate go hand in hand, right? You cannot create and complete applications, Power App applications, without knowing the Power Automate. This has that role to play, right? Now, what it do is, now let me write a very simple definitions of Power Automate, then we'll say. Now, Power Automate, now try to listen what I'm saying. Power Automate is used to do the business process automation. What I said, business, PROCES process, TOMA automation. Very wrong in writing spelling sometime, guys. Forgive me. Yes. Now, so it is used to do business process automation. Now, very technical definition, I know. Maybe you're not getting, but let's try to break this definition and let's try to get the context what I want to say, right? When I'm talking about the Power Automate, I'm saying it is a tool or platform. It is a tool slash not platform used to do business process automation, guys. Now, first understand. Now let's break in these two terms. Now focus on these 3 words: business process automation. Now try to see first what is the business process, guys. What is the business process? Business process first, then we'll see what is automation. Automation, at least you might have used that. Okay, automation means we are not doing any manual effort there. Everything is being automated, automatically done, right? That's automation word is coming from there. Removing the manual effort and making it automated ones, right? So that automation is the same meaning here as well. But what is this business process, guys? What does this business process mean? Okay, so what is the business process? So try to understand. I'm going to give you some very common scenarios which will help you to get what the business process actually means, right? Then we will see how those business processes being automated, right? Now see, let's say, guys, if you are working in any company you work, right? uh, you are having a department called, let's say, human resource department. That's called HR department, human resource, HR, right? Now, HR people, what they do is they do the job posting, right? They do the job posting on different job sites, right? They are responsible for recruiting the people. They will post the job, they will get the application, they will receive the CVs or resume, whatever they need to. They will receive it. they will review it, and they will do the interview, and they will process it. Now see, this complete process of recruitment is a business process, right? Try to understand this complete recruitment process is business process. Now let's more dig deep into it, right? Now see, let's say for example, Harmela is an HR in a company. She joined us as an HR in a company. Now what her boss asked is, hey Harmela, we need two SharePoint developers. We need two SharePoint developers for our upcoming projects. Can you bring some candidates from the market? Now, what Hermela will do is, she will say, okay, please give me the job description which you need for this job, right? Now, your hiring manager will give you, Hermela, the job description. Okay, they need to know the Power Apps, they need to know the SharePoint. These are the job description which they have given in a paragraph. Now, what Hermela do is, she will go to different job site. Let's say for example, LinkedIn is also a job site. LinkedIn, you must have heard LinkedIn is a platform, right? So let's say LinkedIn is in a job site, and she went to job site, LinkedIn job site, and she created a job post there. She created a job post. So she pasted her the SharePoint developers. She pasted and written about the place of the job, company name, and then job description. And in the bottom, she written, okay, if you guys find this JD relevant to your skills, please send your CV on this email address. Now she's leaving her email address down there, right? After posting the job, she done that. Okay. Next day, Madot woke up in the morning. She started searching for SharePoint job. She put the filter SharePoint job, and she saw that job post. Okay, Madot will read those description, and she got the CV. She got the email ID, and on that email ID, she will send her CV to Harmela. Now, now see what happened, guys. Job posting was done manually, and whenever someone, let's say 100 people applied. Let's say Harmela did the job posting 4 p.m. in the evening, and she left for her home. She ended her day and she left for home. Next morning, when Harmela come in the office, she opened her mailbox, and she was surprised there were 100 CV received for that job post. It's a very very common scenario, right? We send our CV to the recruiter's email ID, and then they are getting those CV in their inbox, and they once they get it, they see the attachments. Now, try to visualize this scenario, guys. Now 100 how many email, let's say 100 people applied means she's going to get 100 mails in her inbox. 100 count will come in her inbox. 100. And what her mailer will do is, she will go to the first email. She will see the CV, she will download it. She will download it, and let's say she will go to her desktop, create a folder called SharePoint developer, and she will download her on a local computer, and she will paste that down CV in that folder. She will go to the second email, she will download it, she will post it in her that folder. Now see what she is doing. She's opening the inbox, she's downloading those attachments, and she's putting in that folder, maybe it in OneDrive or local drive, any place. In SharePoint also, in SharePoint list also, let's say there is a document library created for CV, so she's uploading that in document library. Now guys, see Harmela comes in the office at 9 a.m. in the morning. She will take almost 5-6 hours to do this. Go one, download one, upload in the SharePoint document library, download one, upload in the SharePoint. Now guys, she's doing her job, right? So she's doing a job for her business. So the process which she's doing is, we can call it a business process, isn't it? That's a process of a business. That's a recruitment business process she's following up. Right. Now, in this business process, guys, now point to note here. Now try to listen carefully. In this complete business process, what she's doing, she's manually downloading those inbox CVs, and she's uploading somewhere, some folder. Now these are the manual steps, right? So she's doing, so this is a business, complete process is business process, and she's downloading. Now, to let's say your manager said to you, let's say you are an old SharePoint developer in the team, and says, hey, HR is wasting so much time in just downloading CP and keeping it in folder. Can you do something for it, please? Now you are an expert in Power Platform and SharePoint. How you are going to help that HR? Now you said, okay, I know a tool. There is a tool called Power Automate that is used to do the business process automation. right? So your manager said what it will do. So you told manager that okay, whenever someone will send an email to her email ID with the CV, now the CV will be automatically downloaded, and it will be stored inside this folder, inside this document library, in the OneDrive, on local drive, wherever. Understood? That means if I automated this complete business process, now what Harmela will do is she will do the job posting at 4 p.m. She will leave. Next morning when she comes in 9 a.m., she go to the folder which she created last day. Automatically, all the CV which she received in her mailbox inbox, automatically those attachments will be forwarded to her, to that respective folder. She saved her 6 hours, 7 hours of time, manual effort. That meant what you did, guys, using the Power Automate. You automated that manual process to automated one. Understood or not? So this is one use case scenario. I'm not saying Power Automate was created for automating HR process. No, there are thousands of scenarios where you can use this Power Automate. Right. I'll tell you one more example, maybe a couple of more examples so that you get the context. Now, this was one use case of business process. Now, try to understand one more. Let's say you are a sales guy. You are working as a salesperson in any organization. Huh? Now, daily you need to, at the end of the day, let's say your boss said that, hey, Harmela, whatever name your is, they will say that, hey, do one thing. Whatever sales inform contact you did for the day, I want 11 p.m. In the 11 p.m. each evening from Monday to Friday at 11 p.m. you send me a consolidated report in the Excel. You write all the details inside the Excel. Huh? You write all the details inside the Excel, and you send it to over my email each day, Monday to Friday, 11 p.m. So maybe, yeah, what you are doing is you are creating those Excel, big Excel. Then you are going to your mailbox. Then you are attaching that email attachments to the mailbox. Then putting your manager's email ID. Then you are clicking the send button, guys. Each day you are, whenever 11 p.m. happens, you are sending at the end of the day, you are sending that button, and then manager is receiving it. Daily you are doing. Let's say you got someone important work for next 2 3 days. You forgot to do it. Means, right, your boss is not happy then, right? That means you miss the things. So can we automate this process, guys? So there is Power Automate can also help you to send the email or do anything which you want to do in a scheduled time. Let's say I want to send that report to my manager at 11 p.m. each day without failing. So I can use Power Automate to automate this process. So if you use Power Automate, automatically all the attachments or whatever you want to send data, that will be sent to this one. This is one. Let me tell you one more example, then I'll come to the type scenario. Okay, now think one more common scenario. Let's say you are working in an organization. I'm talking all the use case for the business. That's why I'm using the term business process automation. Okay, now you're working in a business company, and now in your company, let's say your manager asked that, okay, right now what people are doing is if they need leave, they are going to their mailbox and they are manually sending an email to me saying that I will be on leave from this date to this date, right? Please allow me. So your manager is getting that email. Manager is getting that email, and he is actually what doing, he's going to some data source, he's saving your leave details there, and he's replying that okay, I'm approving your leave. So you see, this is a manual process. You are transferring the mail leave request mail to your manager manually. Now your manager is receiving that mail, and then back your manager is responding you with those okay, approved or rejected thing, right? So manually it is happening over the email. Now, Power Automate can help us to automate this process as well. Let's start with this example. Probably you'll get it, right? So you got the concept, guys. At least you have got the concept. What is a business process? Business process can be anything. Whatever thing is manual in your organization, in your business, that is a business process. If that you need to check, can I automate it with using the Power Automate? That's what we are going to learn. So Power Automate is a tool which will help you to do the automation, which will save a lot of time of your organization people, whoever is that is going to save a lot of time for them, right? So we are going to see Power Automate, guys, right? All right. For that, I go to the site and type make dot. So earlier what I was typing to app open power apps, I was opening make.powerapps.com. Now what I will type here is make dot power automate powerautomate.com. Simple. In Power App, I was typing make.powerapps.com. Here I'm typing make.powerautomate.com. Now see, I'm here. I'm inside my Power Automate. So Power Automate is nothing but this is just one. Just like we are having a Power App, we are having a Power Automate also, guys. See, you see here, Power App is here, Power Automate is here. Now, Power Automate is used to do the automation. This thing we know, but it can also help you to do integration, guys. Let's say, let's say for example, okay, let's say what happens is if I'm clicking on some button in the Power App, I've created some button called send mail. If I'm clicking on some button on the Power App, now what should happen is that mail should be sent to Outlook. Means this is a different app inside Microsoft 365 Outlook. This is a different app. Now I want to send an email from here to here, from Power App to Outlook. Now who will help? Power App don't have its own capability to send an email outside. Now he needs some helping guy, right? Now Power Automate can help as him as a helping guy. So what Power Automate will do is Power Automate can be a helping guy for this Power App, and it can send the mail from here to here, right? That means this helps in integrating different apps. In other terms, if I saw call, it helps in doing the integration between your different apps. Let's say integration from your Power App to SharePoint. Yeah, Power Automate is there. Integration you want from Power Apps to Outlook is there. You want integration from your Outlook to some other thing, let's say Teams. You want integration between these two. You want to integrate. What do you mean by integration, guys? Integration is a very common term, right? We already did some integration. You remember from Power App to SharePoint, we already did integration. You remember or not? We started creating. So we created a list here in the SharePoint list. And when we created the SharePoint list, we wanted to fill the data from Power Apps to this SharePoint. So we use submit form, and the submit form was actually creating the integration between these two, and data was being synced. But I don't want to use submit form. I don't want to use patch function. So what options I have? I'll have to use Power Automate, right? So we'll see this. So this just came in mind, so you. So this is what we are going to learn. Okay, now see. So the last example which I told you, that let's say there's a leave request thing which is coming from your manager, right? Now guys, in the same thing there is an let's say use an now we what we are going to create is we are going to create an a quick small mini projects for leave request management thing in your organization, that can be used as a leave request management. So I'll go here and let me go and click on the more apps. I do have a forms here. So if I click on more apps, okay, let it open. Click on all apps. Now inside this all apps, guys, I'm having a thing called forms. It should be somewhere FORMS forms. Yeah, you see this forms. What is this? Forms. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of it, but I can I know most of you might have seen it somewhere. No matter if you are working in IT industry or not, you might have used this form somewhere like this. How it goes, I'll tell you. Now, what form do is it gives you some you have filled some survey form. For survey form, let's say you attended some training, some concert, some events, whatever attended, maybe they will give you some survey feedback form to fill it, right? Just for this forms, right? So what I'll do is okay, maybe I'm on the some different side. I don't want to use it. Let me go to my own site. I use my own site. That's a different account. So I'll use this account, guys. I'll click on it. And then I'll click on this 9 dots and I click on this called forms here. I'll click on more apps. Okay, now meanwhile it's loading. Let me tell you, we are going to create a leave request management sort of functionality with our skills. Okay, now click on all apps. Inside it, I should see form somewhere. Where it is, where it is, here we go. Now here it is a form. Now see, we are inside the form, right? Now we are also going to learn one more applications quickly. There is not much to learn here, guys. Very quickly you will see in this class only, even you don't need practice for this. So I'll click on the forms. Now this is my form thing, right? Or forms.office.com. Automatically it gets open, right? You still see the 9 dots here, right? Okay. So now I'll click on the new form. Okay. Let me click on the new form here. So I'm going to create a new form, guys. Okay. Now if I click on the new form, it's asking untitled form. So I'm going to write here what? Leave uh, request, leave request management app, like this. Leave request management app. You see? Okay. That means I'm going to create app like this. Now in this leave request management app, this is actually I'm creating UI. Just like for your Power App, you create your UI. Now form you can think this is creating UI for me, right? So it's very easy. I just write the name, click on the quick to start. Maybe I want to ask their name, so I'll take the name. I'll say okay, name here, and I'll have answers to choose here. If I want long answers, I can click it, but name is a very small word, so just better. If I want to make it a mandatory field, I can put it a mandatory field here. So this will put asterisk here, right? If I don't want to make it a required, I'll turn it off. Okay. Okay. Name. What else? What else, guys? We can use email ID. We can use. So let me use the text again, and I'll say email. Right. So whoever in your organization they needs to apply the leave, they will use this form. They will fill their detail here, and once they submit this form, the request will go to your manager. We are going to see that. Okay, now I've captured their name, I've captured their email. Now what else I can capture? Just thinking, date also, na? Date also I need to do, right? Now see, this is my start date. Or I'll say START start date, and I can create quickly a new date, end date also. I'm also a checking failed call, end date, end date, right? Okay. Now maybe I'll say some I'll say some departments as well, because people in my organization can be from different departments. So what I'll do, PARTMENT department, and I make department, let's say for example HR department. I'll say an IT departments. Maybe I'll use some marketing departments, sales departments. I can use the things like this. I can add more things. Now I'm done. See how easy to create form. If I click on preview, guys, I'm done now. See, this is how my form is created. You see how easy it is to create the form. Click, 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 and it's done. Now what will happen is, inside my any organization, if someone wants to apply, they will have to use this URL. They will copy this URL, they will open it there, right? And they will fill these details. Let's say I want to apply leave. I'll put my name Rahul. I'll put my email address here, whatever. I want to start leave from, let's say I want to start my leave from this Monday, 18th of this November. I want the complete week leave means 18 to 22nd, right? 22nd. This is the, so I want to start date is this, end date is this. I'm from, let's say from IT department, and I say submit it. Now what happens, guys? Anyone in your organization willing to take leave, they will go and fill this form. Now see how easily we created this form. There's nothing more to learn here. You just need to click on the form, new form, add, and you're done. You just create one form, you'll get confident. You don't need to even more practice on it. Right. This is done. Okay. My form is created means my UI is created. Okay. Now my UI is created. Now what I want is, whenever now requirement I'm making little bit changes the requirement. What I want is, whenever user is submitting this detail, this detail should go and get saved into my SharePoint list first. I want to save first step. Okay, let me write those things here. Okay, what I want is, first requirement is, uh, if user fills the leave request form. I'm writing my requirement, guys. This is how you get your requirement, right? Now, what is the second step which you are going to do? User fills the leave request form and clicks submit button. PUTTON. Now you see down there it is submit button, right? He fills the form. Let's say Madot want to apply leaves. He fills the form and she clicks submit button. Okay. Now Madot work is done. right? She has to just, she's applying leaves, she has just filled the form, click submit, she's done. Now next thing is what I want is, next thing is the details, DTAI, details of submitted user leave request should be saved inside my data source. In this case, in my is saved inside a data source, or you can say SharePoint list. In our case, SharePoint list. Yes, I'll save those details inside a SharePoint list. That means I'll have to create a list as well to do this. Okay. Now after that, um, okay, I'll click the, okay. Now after third step, what should happen is an email should be sent to the reporting manager, of the respective department. Respective department. Understand? So what should happen is the email should be sent to and respective department. Okay, that okay. Madot has applied leave uh, from this date to this date. Please approve or reject. Right now, this is that. Now, email should be sent to your reporting manager for respective department. And now here what he'll do is manager will have option to approve or reject the leave, right? Manager will have option because we are sending a manager some mail to manager that hey, Madot has submitted request. Manager will have options to approve or reject the leave, right? Now, now so manager will get two button, guys. Here manager will get two button. Basically, I'll write here with two buttons two buttons. So in his mail, let's say your manager get an email mail like this, and inside the below the mail he will get two buttons to click. One is approve button, one is reject button. Okay, so he will see the request. He has an options to click on the approve, either approve or reject, right? And when he is rejecting or is approving, he can give comment also. So that box also that, let's say if he's approving it, so he can write okay, I'm all good, I'm approving it. Or if he's rejecting it, sorry, we have a stick deadlines going ahead, so unfortunately I won't be able to approve this time, maybe next time, right? So that means he's writing comment. So the comment box will also come, right? So the mail which we'll send to the manager will have the description of the user submitted details plus two additional button called approve and reject plus one comment box in which manager will write his feedback while approving or rejecting. And when manager will have options to approve and reject. So what happens here? We are having cases, guys. Manager can approve, manager can reject. So if manager approves, right? If manager approves, then we need to handle that case. If manager reject, he reject my request, that can also be that. So we will handle those cases. Those two things. So in that case, what will happen? We will notify user that your request approved. We will send notification email to the user who submitted form, submitted form for leave request. Like you get a mail, right? Whenever let's say your manager click the approve button, and so Medet has submitted form, so she will get a request that okay, your leave request is received. Okay, now we'll say your request approved. Your request approved. Simple. Okay. Same thing we'll do if it is there. We'll do what? We'll do if manager reject, we will send a notification email to user who's your request rejected here, right? We'll notify him or not through the email. Your request approved or rejected. Now see, this is that. Also in the SharePoint list, we will create those columns. We'll also create a column called status, guys, status, huh? So that the once manager approve, we'll update that status column from pending to approved. Okay, I don't want to make it complex, but you got this, what I'm saying, right? Okay, now this is one business process scenario, guys. Now through Power Automate, I'm going to automate this complete step. No manual intervention will be there. This complete system will build using the Power Automate. Right. Now first part is already done. We created quickly. We created a um, uh, we created a form. So what are the things which you are using here, guys? What are the apps inside Microsoft? One, you are using MS Form. Remember, once we are using MS FORMs forms. What else? We are using SharePoint. Specifically inside SharePoint, we are using list. Huh? What else we are using? We are using Outlook. Huh? And also we are using Power Automate. Now see, from Microsoft 365 ecosystem or under that umbrella, we are actually figuring out these four things. We need these four apps, four services from Microsoft to achieve this purpose. Understood? We already worked on Microsoft Forms. We created Microsoft Form. You know how to create list, right? I don't need to tell you, but I'll definitely create in front how to create list, right? You know that. Then we'll see Outlook and Power Automate. So let's quickly do one thing, guys. Let me quickly go to the site Rahul01. Let me use this site only for our training purpose. So I'll go to the site content, guys. Right. Now here I need to create a list because in this list only, whenever user will submit this form, I'm going to save this data. Okay. Now I click on this list button and I click a blank list and I'll write here is a leave, L-E-A-V, leave request, um, leave request details, huh? Just anything. So this is how I create list. If I tick it, show in navigation, that will show up here. If I untick it, it will not show in the left navigations. Okay. So let me tick it. Let it come here. Let me click create. So this leave request will be added in the left navigation as well. And now see, this is added here and we are up. So even if you are on home page, you can just click in spite of going to the site content, you can directly click it. Now by default, whenever you create a list, guys, there is a by default column you get as title, which is there added to this view, right? I already told you what this view is, right? We already discussed this view. So this is my default view. This is my default view, which is selected right now, add all items. Right now, what I'm going to add is what details we are bringing from here. Let's see that. Okay, we are bringing name, we are bringing email. Anyone has raised hand? No. Okay, we are bringing name, email, start date, end date. How many columns, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? Okay, wonderful. Now let me close this. Let me go this. I'm going to create a column called name. Huh? I'm going to create a column called name, guys. N-A-M-E, name. Okay, now save it. Okay, now what is the second column? Email, right? So I'll go and create a one more column. Click on create column, text column only. So let me use an email here. I'm creating another column in my SharePoint list called email. Simple. Now go there, check the start date and date. These are the date column, so I should be choosing as a date column, for example. Okay. Now, for example, what I'll do, I'll click date and time, click on the next, and here say start date. Start date. You see, start date I did. Okay, and then I click on save button. Now I have a start date. Similarly, I'll create end date. No, no choice, maybe date time. Click on it, and here say end date. Right now, click on it. Now see, I'm preparing my data SharePoint. I'm database, right? So I created 5 columns, right? 4 columns, and I think we have one more. What we have a department as well. Okay, now department is of type. Okay, department. What should I choose? Choice. Okay, let me choose choice, guys. Okay, I'll have to make sure that I'll having same departments. We are having HR, IT, marketing, sales. Okay, so I'm writing here HR, IT, marketing, and I think the last one is sales. If you remember, no, sales is there, no? Yes, sales. Let me verify it. So these 4 things: HR, IT, marketing, and sales. Okay, wonderful. Now you got these columns, right? Now what is this? This is called department, DEPARTME and T department. Okay, now see. Now this is a choice column, click save button. Now I prepared my those column which is coming from this form, right? So whenever this value will come, I can save those value in respective columns, right? Yes, yes, lovely. Go ahead.
I cannot see my screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yeah.
Earlier you were seeing, or you just stopped? It stopped seeing
I
it.
just stopped on SharePoint.
What you are seeing right now? Do you see my mouse moving
No.
now? Is freezed or you can't see anything?
I cannot see anything. I mean, I can see only SharePoint. That's only the thing I see
Okay.
right now.
So let's do one thing. Quickly leave the call and please rejoin again. Maybe sometimes it happens. I'm not sure. Anyone is
Okay.
having problem, same problem, guys? It's okay for all of you. Mel, are you able to see?
You are on SharePoint, right?
Yes, yes. I'm in the
The
list. I'm
page?
moving my.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
we can see. Thank you.
Okay. That's good. All right. I think let her join. Okay. So right now what I was doing, guys, I created the columns based on the forms data, right? In forms, I was having name, I was having email, start date, end date, and HR department. So this column I already created, but I'm going to create some additional column as well, right? The additional column is lovely. Are you able to see now?
Nothing. Black.
Still. Okay, guys, let me stop sharing and reshare it again. Sorry. Okay. Um, Let me know if you can share. Um, you see it now?
I
No.
cannot see anything right now.
Okay, no problem. I think I will have to you'll have to follow the recordings and maybe or I think
Now
this
I
should work.
can see like leave request details.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what. Very good. Okay. Okay. Now guys, name, email, start date, end date, and department. These columns I created based on the form data, right? Now I'm going to add two more columns. Okay. Now two more columns are two more columns. No, three more columns I'm going to add. Okay. Two more columns. No, two more columns. Let's add. Okay, one column is for why I'm saying no more columns is one for example, guys. So let me create a choice column called status. Huh? Yes, status. What this status means? Huh? Okay, I'll tell you the significance of this status column. Okay, first let me write some pending. Let me sign some approved, and let me write is rejected. Rejected. Okay. So see, now I've created all the columns for now. Whatever columns I created so far was column required for my forms data to be saved, right? But now the column which I'm creating now, these don't have any direct dependency with the form. This data will actually tell the status of my that particular record. Let's say for example, Harmela go and submit one form for leave request, right? Her name will come in the name field, email will come in the email field, start date and the department. But the column status I'm creating, whenever she create that request, first time the status is going to be, guys, what? Pending. As soon as she create the record, the status of that column, that row is, that's the row call, right, is going to be pending, right? Initially when request is created, no action has been taken on that, so it's pending state. So, right now it is if it is approved, it is approved state. Let's say after 1 month my boss wants to check how many requests pending, how many requests approved or rejected. So this column will help me to track those things, right? How many requests rejected or pending, like that. That's why I'm creating the choice column like this: pending, approved, and rejected. So whenever my manager will approve, I'll come here and change that status from pending to approved. If my manager reject, I will change that status from pending to rejected. Understood or not? Okay, wonderful. Now this column is for that purpose. Very good. Now what else? Okay, now guys, one I also told you that manager when is approving on rejecting, let's say he's rejecting your leave request, he should give a proper justifications, right? He should give his comment. Sorry, strict deadlines are there. That means we need to capture his comment also, right? Right. Let's say after 1 month, I'm a boss, a CEO, right? I want to see, okay, Harmela did one leave request. Why it is just rejected? Why it was rejected? Uh, and let's say if he goes to the manager, hey, why you rejected Harmela request? Maybe manager forgot why he rejected. You don't know. But if he has written some comment, I'm rejecting because we are having some strict deadlines next week, some deadlines. So yeah, so that's why I'll write what I'll create one more column, guys, called text column. I'll write approver comment, or let's say comment, huh? Uh, Comment, huh? I'm just right. I can write approvers comment or comment, right? Single line of text. That's the. So these two columns which I created right now, status and comment, these are not directly related to the data which is coming from the form, but these are actually helping to track our record. Understood or not? Now there's a title here which we don't need for time being in my view. So what I can do is I need to remove this title, right? I just want to have this column. So what I'll do, I go to this all items, I click on edit current view. So I'm editing my default view, go to edit current view, and I just need to unselect this title one. Okay, now if I see title is selected, whatever is selected is being shown there, right? If I deselect it or unselect it and click OK button, now this title is not selected, so this will not be here. If I refresh it, it should go away from this. You know how easy is now, title gone or not. So I am having only those column which is required. Understood? Wonderful. Now let me tell you guys, now we are now we did what? We did MS form, we did SAP point list. Understood? Now we'll do Power Automate quickly. Okay, now, okay, what I'll do is I'll go to this Power Automate, guys. Where is my Power Automate? Oh, I didn't open in this site. That was another site. I'll click on the Power Automate. It's same like going is make.powerautomate.com. I'll land up here. Now see. Now what Power Automate do is, guys, is let me give you a brief idea before I want to say, I think I already opened this. Now, what Power Automate does is, let's say, for example, I think I forgot to tell you, I should have tell you earlier only. Now, let's say, guys, what Power Automate, how the Power Automate does. Let's not go to the technical aspect first. Let's see the some normal layman terms, right? Okay, let's say, for example, um, it's almost afternoon for you. It's going to be afternoon soon. So let's say what you said that, oh, you decided from tomorrow onwards, what I'll do is I'll follow a routine. Maybe I'm wasting a lot of my time. I'm not able to complete the task which I'm thinking in morning. So I'll follow a regular routine. So for that, I'm going to create my own timetable for my day-to-day activity, what I'm doing, right? Okay. Now think. Now you taken a fresh paper, A4 size plain paper, and you started writing your things which you want to do, right? Okay. Now, first thing you said, okay, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. in morning when alarms ring. Alarm rings. Okay. Okay. This is how you start your day, right? This is our task list. I'll wake up in 5 a.m. in the morning. I'll um, go for exercise, right? Okay. Now, what is the third thing? Do breakfast. Uh, do some yoga. No, yoga exercise is yoga. Okay. Okay. Do um, get fresh. Now see, get fresh. Okay. Oh, no, no. FRESH, get fresh. Now see what I'm writing here. Get fresh. Get ready for office. Okay. Now see. Sixth step is what, guys? Sixth step is what? Go to office. Now seventh step is, let's say, in office activity I'm not recording. Maybe come back from office. Right. I'm writing what, guys? I'm writing different actions which you are going to do in the sequential order, right? This is what you are going to do from tomorrow, right? Ah, have snacks. Nice. I mean, yeah, you can have one more activity. Go for a walk. I mean, just you can have more, go to bed and all like that dinner and all. Right. Now, what you did is you prepared a sheet like this. You written or whatever things you want to do. You prepare, take an A4 size paper, and with the pen and paper, you write point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, and you said that, oh, you promised yourself, I'm going to follow this timetable. I'm creating this time to-do list. This is my to-do list. Okay, I'm going to follow this. Now, these are the list you have written in sequential order. Now tell me, guys, when you will start following this? What time, to be precise, what time you will do this activity? Let's say, for example, this is your first activity. Okay, this is your first activity which you will be doing. But why when you this, let's say when you will go for exercise, only when 5 p.m. happens, you wake up in the morning, then only you will do this. If let's say it's 4 a.m., will you do this second part? No, you won't do it. If it is a 3 a.m., you will do this thing, go to exercise. No, you won't do. Means you will only do the step number 2. You will only do the step number 2 if 5 a.m. happens. Right? If 5 a.m., let's say 5 a.m. is an event. If that event is happening, then only you are okay. You understood or not? Okay, let's say for example, you went to a school and it's your birthday and you need to distribute some chocolates to your classmates. Okay, so I told you, okay, whenever I'll make a call to you, then only start distributing it. Before I make a call, don't distribute it. So you went there, you are sitting idly, and make a call at some time in the day. I make a call, hello, yes, you can distribute now. So you were actually waiting to get my call. If I call you, then only will be distribute. So what I am to you, I am triggering you to distribute. So these are all sequence of actions, guys. Sequence of actions. Now this sequence of actions will be executed one by one. Point 2 will be executed, then only point 3 will be executed, then only point 4 will be executed. You can't go and get fresh without doing these two things. You'll have to do this in the sequential order. In the same order you will do. You cannot do that. I go for exercise and then you go for have snacks. You can't do, right? In sequential order, it happens. And what are these, guys? These are actions which you are doing. If I tell you, these are nothing but these are the actions which are doing right now. Understood? Actions. Okay. Now, no, but these actions you will only perform from point 2 to point 9. It can be more. Only perform when this happens. So this is called, guys, trigger. 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 Understood? So trigger is an event. Now try to listen my words. I'm praising this in some technical definitions. This is very simple. This is my own words. So trigger is an event which when happens, the subsequent actions which is written down there are being executed in the sequential order. So you will start performing your actions only when 5 p.m. happens. So that means what? 5 p.m. is trigger condition. You need to, if you want to learn Power Automate, you need to understand these two terms very much. First thing is trigger. Second thing is actions. Action thing can be anything. Action. So whenever this trigger thing will happen, these actions will be followed. But this is mandatory, right? Mandatory. Right. Now, for example, let's come to the first example we started with. HR is posting the job, right? And whenever someone is applying the job, that email is going to the HR inbox. And that email is going to the HR inbox, right? So no, so what happens? Receiving an email in her inbox is a trigger. When Power Automate will download from a email, whenever there the email will come in the inbox, then only Power Automate will download. Right? That means first the trigger condition should be an email received in the inbox. That's a trigger condition, and then subsequent section. Right? Trigger, you understood. Anyone is having problem in understanding what is a trigger? Guys, trigger thing. No? Okay. Uh, should I give more example? Okay. For example, let's say you are walking on a street. You're walking on a street and you are just walking and someone is coming down there and he started abusing you. Now you will slap him. Now, sorry, this is for bad example, but I'm just giving you because so you are walking, someone abuses you, that triggers you, and then you are taking an action. So abuse is a trigger and slap is an action. So slap only happens when abuse comes to your ear, right? So to perform any actions, the trigger should be there. Without trigger, you will not start. You will not start slapping someone before he told, right? So trigger is like that. So trigger is an event. So trigger can be anything. When an item is created, whenever item is created in the SharePoint list, I want to send an email. When someone, let's say for example, okay, let me go here and then what is this? Don't know. Anyway, let's say for example, guys, this is my form, right? Someone is coming and filling this form and is clicking the submit button. Someone is coming and clicking the submit button. So what will happen is whenever this form is submitted, that can be my trigger condition. When Power Automate will go and save this data in the SharePoint list, because second step was saving the data in the SharePoint list. Only when the form is submitted. So form submission is what? Trigger condition. So any Power Automate first step is trigger condition. Without trigger, Power Automate cannot be created. And there will be only one trigger condition, guys. There will be only one trigger condition. If you go here, if you go to your here, so there is no other trigger condition. If let's say at 5 a.m. happens and alarm ring, this is my trigger condition, right? Let's say something happened. Let's say at 5 a.m. Someone started some other dancing. So that's not trigger for you. Your trigger is very specific. That 5 a.m. alarm rings, that's my trigger. Then I'll start performing these actions, right? Okay. Now you understood the trigger and actions, right? For any Power Automate, you will create first the trigger and you'll do. So now I'll go to create button. Click on the create button. There are different types of flow. I'll go and explain you in the next class. For time being, just think I'm creating one Power Automate link. Now, guys, I'm putting my flow's name here. Now, see, I can just say leave request flow, something, anything I can write, right? Now, see, I just writing the name of the flow which I'm creating, Power Automate. So Power Automate is actually flow. So I'm writing my Power Automate name or flow name. Okay. Now, guys, it's saying choose your trigger first. Straight away, it's asking choose your trigger, right? So trigger is the first step. It's asking you to. So actually what happens is inside the Power Automate, this is one box. This is one box. This is one box. To get fresh, there is a box, dedicated box. To get ready for office, there is a dedicated box. 5 a.m. rings, this is a dedicated box. So all are boxes like that. Okay. Now I'm going to play with the boxes now. Now guys, I'm going to trigger my Power Automate when this MS form is submitted, the Microsoft form is submitted, right? Now let's go and find some trigger condition related to that. Okay. You see the first one, when a new response is submitted, you know, when a new response is submitted, first step only. If I click on the detail one, now see, you see the details. This operations triggers a flow when a new response is submitted, where inside the Microsoft form. That means this is what I need, right? So I click on the select this, click on the create button. Now see, simple. It's very easy. Right now I've started creating it. Okay, now this is my old new designer. Usually I don't like old designer. This was recently introduced by Microsoft. I usually I'm not big fan of this old new designer, so I'll go and switch to the old designer. That look more user friendly for me. Yeah. Now see, guys, this is my trigger box which is there. And if this is my trigger box, this will ask me, okay, this will trigger when I'll have to choose my form when it will trigger. Now see, whatever my form name was, guys, what was the name of my form? Leave request management app. And whenever you add this trigger condition, automatically starts coming here. Leave request management app. Okay, I select this. Okay, I select this, selected this is done. Now what I'll do one more step, get response detail. Maybe I will be explaining you tomorrow, but I'm just completing just to showcase you something. Get response details. We'll be completing this project maybe by tomorrow, but just will give you how it is running. Okay, and now let me search some form ID. Form ID is nothing but the name of the form. Don't worry, you'll get it. I'm choosing response ID. And now let me go and say create item. create item. I'll just take 5 more minutes, guys. Sorry. Create item, SharePoint. What these are actions which I'm doing. So which site I want to create? I want to create on Rahul01 site. So I should be seeing somewhere Rahul01. Yes, coming here. And now my list will also start coming here. So if I place the leave request details, automatically the list data will come here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Okay. Now inside name, guys, I'm getting all responses here. If I click on it, you see here all the data coming. So I click on name, click on email here. You see email I want to bind here. I want to bind my start date here. Uh, Start date. I'll bind my end date. See more, end date. And then let's say, for example, department I'm going to bind here, right? I'm going to enter the custom value and I'm just going to say the department. Okay, now see. And the status I'm first right now I'm making a pending because this is new entry, so first it will be pending. Okay, let's keep this step only. So whenever user is submitting, I'm expecting the record should be get saved into SharePoint list. Now let me go and refresh this list, guys. Right now, do I have any record in this? No, it is a blank. Okay, now let me go and submit the new request. This is Rahul. This is his email ID, SINGH. I'll put some good data. SINGHMICCU into at gmail.com. You see. Now this is my start date, this is my end date. Now what I'll do is I'll click on the submit button. Now your response is submitted coming. Now my Power Automate will run, right? I can go and check it. I can, if I go there, it should run here. Now see, it has run 8 seconds ago. You see, it has run 8 seconds ago. I can see the run history, how it has run. I can switch to the old designer, new, not new view, old designer, and then I can see my run history. Now I'm just, so now see, this has run when new item is submitted. This is submitted. I got all my responses here, Rahul details, all things are there. And with the third box, I'm creating an item. So I'm creating inside this SharePoint site Rahul01 list name request create. I'm saving these items. And now let's go and check our list, guys. Now go list, refresh it, and boom, here we go. You see the record came here. Understood. And because new record inserted, no actions taken, state is pending. Department is ID, end date, start date, and email. Right, you understood, guys. So this is how our power. So who helped me to get data from this form and bring data to the SharePoint list? Who helped me? Power Automate. Understood. Automation. Now same Power Automate in the next step. Right now I'm like 3 steps. I will going to write more actions. It is going to send an email to my manager. It is whenever it's approving, whatever action is taking, it is going to receive it, going to update my SharePoint list from status pending to approved or rejected. Also, it is going to send an email to my the user who has submitted that, okay, your request has been received, request rejected, or whatever. So now guys, see, everything is automated and no manual interaction at all. User will come fill this form. Whenever he will fill this form, manager will automatically get an email in mailbox. Now see, form submitted, email received by manager in his mailbox. In mail only is clicking a submit but approve button and is forgotten what is done. He click the forgot approve button, automatically your list is updated. The user is notified that your request submitted. Okay, so you got an idea what Power Automate is doing. So these are nothing but this is your trigger condition, and these are the sequence of actions which you are performing when trigger condition happens. We can do anything like that. So it is executed in the sequential order. That's why you see this uh, top to down arrow symbol here, right, like that. All right, guys. Any question, anyone, before we close? I think that's all I have for the today. From this, we'll be going and completing these projects tomorrow. I'll be completing this complete use case scenario. So what I'll be doing, I'll sharing this use case with you today in the chat, and you can go through it, but try to replicate what I did. I know I could not explain you what get response detail and all. We'll explain you in the. I'll explain you. I'll explain you this in the tomorrow class. Right. Okay. Now, any question, anyone? Harmila, Madot, Mal, Mnet, Yade, anyone regarding this Power Automate thing? All good? All right, guys. You are a wonderful student. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Gurmeet.
Thanks, Raul.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.